What's up, traders? I hope everybody had a good day today. I'm really loving the market opportunity here on either the short side or the long side. Plans have been working out. The trades are there. It's just a matter of stepping up to the plate and knocking those things down. Uh, Varying trades as far as swings, intraday, long term, intraday scalps, swing scalps, if that's a category or not. But really, just come take your pick and whatever tickles your fancy. What trading style you feel comfortable with. I mean, this market is supporting it, and we can't ask for too much more. But today I'm going to go ahead and do a trade recap and a market review, daily review. I've taken a little study of my videos previously, and I hope this one is a little bit more efficient for you guys and kind of go over a few more things than I had been previously. Sorry about that. I had to take care of something really quickly. But what I've done on my blog, tradefortime.blogspot.com, I've kind of condensed my watch list a little bit. I wanted to have more quality plays, and previously I started off with just I have a whole bunch of tickers on there, getting myself used to researching these things, looking overnight, kind of having as much content in front of my eyes as possible. But over recent months or so, I've been trying to kind of consolidate those things and really pick ones that I feel more comfortable with, and I think that'll help me to move forward in the right direction as far as having bigger picture plans, whether I'm scalping on the bigger picture scale or actually taking a longer term trade throughout the course of the day or over the course of a couple of days. But right now, all my volume is done intraday. I've started practicing putting swing ideas onto paper. I had a really good one with Nugget. I'll discuss that in a little bit and how it ties into my trade thought today. But let me go ahead and start going over. So as you see here, I have SPY and LABU pulled up. LABU, of course, the biotech ETF, correlates with SPY for the most part. SPY, we had some early selling. My thoughts were coming into the morning, some gap down, thinking due to news, slightly red here. Could see some selling. Could sell some, especially if 216 doesn't hold. Buyers have been in 215s, but room to go lower if it does. And as you see here, just like I said, 215. If I were to be trading this buy symbol, my risk would have been off of the 50s level, 215 50s, whole and half dollar marks, and that comes from if we go to the daily, just draw a line here, 215.68. This one is 62, but it's all in that range. And it said 215.50s is this whole and half dollar mark one, and then two the high here, which was the last high before the gap, in my opinion, was 215.50. So at any point there, that's where I stop out. And if it does break, I think we should start to get a fade. Coming back into the daily chart, see we had some selling off the open. Buyers came in again, ripped red to green. I think the move was too violent, and then it stalled out, came back down, but held. And this is the kind of action that I've been starting to look for recently, where then you get a flat top breakout from whatever consolidation area and start to ramp higher. LBU, my thoughts on that were it was opening near flat with SPY down, extended on the daily. Think we get a spike off open for short. Risk would be high on higher day or high of day yesterday, which was 41.5. And then if it dips and hold and SPY regains footing, could offer a dip buy. So coming into this daily chart, this was on the 5 minute. Got the rip off the open. I didn't have the short because I was really focused on Nugget, but this offered a good opportunity here. Even if we go to the 1 minute, you can see it's pretty clean breakout and rip right up. And then this is all while SPY was still deciding what it wanted to do with itself on the day. So you can see it's going right along, and the descent on LBU came after the descent on SPY. SPY was still ripped up to 932, 933 had hit his peak. LBU 934 had hit his, and then it didn't start the downtrend until later, after the 34 minute. Where SPY started it, I think, in the 33 minutes, so it was a minute. SPY was a minute ahead of LBU, and so it continued to fade along with SPY. It did have the bounce up. I think there was a lot of indecision here, and there was a lot of supply up in this area, so it didn't get too much over the red to green test, even though SPY had almost a dollar bounce. but it continued to fade along with SPY. Go back to the 5 minutes so we get more data. And as SPY trended, LABU trended. Now I did have somewhat of a detachment, but overall they kind of just went the same direction as SPY did. Didn't have much of a rip as I would have thought it would have, with SPY reclaiming that 217 level and also the red to green. But it's been straight up for the last 8 days or so. You can't expect too much. And today was a good lesson for me not to ignore the technicals of an individual chart just because it correlates with SPY like it does. So, but pretty much it's been all the way up. But really in this last session, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, last 8 sessions straight up from 32. So it's good action to see, and I look to see more. Uh, Heavy buying is coming in on SPY, so as long as SPY stays up, I think LABU can stay up. How high, I'm not sure, and I'll be working to kind of define the trend lines and support resistance area and all that. Try not to get too, oh, because SPY up, LABU needs to be up, because at the end of the day, it's still its own ticker. So I got a good learning experience on that today with my trading partner. He had some really good calls on it, so I'll be working to really implement this more into my game. Moving on from there, MELY. What was my plan? What was my plan? No activity pre-market. Support resistance levels are drawing now. Unclear support for me on it, and that was because it was stuck within a range. But my levels were 46.7, 47.2, 47.8, 48.4, which you can see here it really topped out. But after the 47.6, let's see, can I scoot it over? Ah, which coincidentally was red to green from yesterday, so that's why I kind of thought there. I didn't take the trade on it because, like I said, SPY was whiplash, Nugget was busy, and I wasn't too sure to the downside. But on the upside, it's difficult to watch all these stocks. I could, I guess, throw some orders in based off of my plans, but that takes more confidence, and I'm working to build towards that. So maybe eventually I will be able to throw orders in, put stops in to correlate with them, and then just let them ride. And the ones work, add to it. The ones don't, take it off. But taking a day at a time. So it makes me feel good to really be able to start to identify these levels properly and have good risk reward, which is causing me to be more profitable. Because just as important as it is to be able to make money, you need to manage your losses, and that's really the only thing you can control. And I had a good realization with my trading partner about stop losses, and thankfully he's been hammering the points about them and staying on me about it, not letting me get complacent in being able to generate more revenue, but making sure I'm doing it the right way. So if ever I was to even start to shut out that I was slipping up or reason for caution, he would respectfully throw his pointers out there, and I'd take heed to them. And I think it's helped me immensely along the way. But I'll continue on, keep this ball rolling. My favorite, here we go. Did I cover everything? Netflix. Netflix, I just kind of keep on watch. I'm really confused about why it's being able to hold like this. I guess, honestly, I haven't looked too much on it the last few days, but nasty gap down, and then kind of consolidated down here, I guess because of the technical support level. But for this gap up, I mean, that's good. I guess that'll be my homework over the weekend, try to figure out what was going on with Netflix. But I'm really baffled as to how it's back up on these 90s and staying here, and not only that, getting bought up. I mean, I know SPY is at all-time highs and all the extra stuff, but given the earnings and the business model that they've left now, changing the password configurations, upping the prices, it just doesn't. 91 doesn't make sense anymore. I feel like this should be around $70, but so I'm still learning, and I'm keeping it on secondary watch, not really trying to make a hero out of it. But I'm gonna wrap up with Nugget. Man, what can I say? It's just feels good to be as prepared as I have been, but not capitalizing on these opportunities has really started to become a problem psychologically for me. Um, Gonna keep swinging. That's definitely not the issue here, but oh man, oh man, what can I say? However, my thought process on Nugget was all this was a pullback. This area. It's more violent, granted, than I expected it to be, but I was thinking that Nugget would eventually have some crack days. Of course, we had this one here, but after that, gap down was not something that I foresaw coming. I didn't capitalize on. In fact, this is the day where I screwed up and I traded against my trading plan, which was a great lesson learned. Um, However, all this was fully expected. Now on this day, the 725 was when it got to the 17s, I think. Yep, 117.10. On paper, this is when I put my first swing for 119. Of course, sold out $2 after that, but my price targets were 140 and 150 to scale out into, and then if you reclaim 150, maybe look at adding again, blah blah blah. So you know, had the FOMC yesterday, and my price targets were hit in that single day. But today I was thinking, okay, we've had a 30-point bounce, but and this is before I saw the gap up this morning. We're having a 30-point bounce. In order for this move to continue, I feel like it needed to have some retracement. And same thing on spot. Spot ran up from 1320, and this was I'm really happy that it did this. And as I was telling my trading partner, this was the first time I've been able to really identify and have a feel that institutional players, big money players, were buying into a stock. I saw it way back when Nugget ran from 80 to 120, but I didn't know what I was looking at. And this was back in May, I think. I was like, man, it just not, it couldn't break 80. And I was like, man, if I had the capital, I would get long. At that time, I was auto trading for a couple of reasons, but I was thinking, I was like, this is going to be a monster run, and I was sure of it. Didn't absolutely know why, but I felt it. And here, same thing. I saw it again, and difference is, well, okay, why didn't you take a trade on it? Why didn't you take a swing? It's the difference between seeing something and thinking that it is and having the conviction. Now, if I were to see this at some date in the future, I would more than likely take a position on it because that would have been my third time seeing it. The second time I saw it with confidence, called it out, and it worked as I suspected. The next time I'd be able to try it. So later on in the market, maybe not even on Nugget, but if I see some institutional absorption or just big money players looking like they're purchasing, then I can trade accordingly, whether that is with them or against them. Of course, big money, you want to follow it, but you never know what's going on. So that felt really good to see. However, coming back to today, my game plan on it was some gap after the big move yesterday on 154 support resistance level. I had identified as 155 on a daily, looking for a parabolic to fade. Might need one more day, so I wasn't absolutely sure it's going to be today, Thursday. It might have been Friday, but either way, big play will happen, and this is all on my watch list. You can find it in the link below at tradefortime.blogspot.com. 150.15 was my next support. So off the open, with my 154-ish, 155 plan, I got to short a few shares, and one bad thing I've been doing, I've been only taking bigger picture scalps. I haven't really maximized my plans, and there've been 7, 8, 9, $10 moves where I call it out, but only get a dollar, 40, 50 cent. I started in super tiny, fully expecting some ramp all the way up here. I thought we would get a little bit more, but I had some just in case. I think I had a 153.2 average, so 16 cent from the top, and then we got the flush, and it started to hold at that 150 level, so I went ahead and took it off. And I didn't take it off in the same thought process as previously as, oh, I'm just scalping, I'm up a lot, or thinking as I want to be profitable. No, it was clear that in this minute or so it was holding. Even here, I think I got the last 20 shares off right here, but it was my biggest to-date win on a single span of a trade, if you will. I was able to nab 2 points off of it, but I covered, tried it again here. I didn't get all my fills. I missed some. I had them too high, but started holding again, covered. Now I didn't take any long because my big picture plan was to short, and I stuck to that. I was only looking to short and short big. I fully expected this move if it was going to happen, so I wanted to stay prepared. Where I screwed up around this hour, I do need to go back to the 1 minute. There's a lot of other things moving. LABU was doing this thing, MBLY, and all this other stuff, and I had my orders ready, and this is all on one monitor, and my level 2 is on another monitor. But I allowed myself to get distracted, so I missed the opportunity. And then after that, I was frustrated. Just had to take a step away. But always, always, always be ready for whatever it is that you're looking for. It's okay to process new information and take some other things in, but you gotta make sure you're ready. So I end up bouncing it off the lows, which I'm pretty proud about. Perfect buys off of certain technical things that I was seeing. Didn't capture majority of the move, only got partial position, so I was out, which was my plan, but I was expecting more than what I had, so I didn't make it through the rest of the bounce. And like I said, I was gone the rest of the day, kind of watching from my mobile setup. But you always got to be ready for whatever it is that you're looking for. That's the worst thing, being right there and then having your eyes in the wrong place and you're missing your monster trade. But this is encouraging overall for my career. I mean, it's although it wasn't a flagship day, it wasn't a monster. It's a big day, actually, my best screen day for the month. Now that I think about it, but it was small and relative to what it should have been, and what I worked for, what I feel like I'd earned, what I feel like I deserved based off of my pre-preparation, my adjusting my plan based off what the chart was telling me instead of what I just wanted. But hey, it's a growing point. So I'll continue to take swings at it. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If not, happy hunting. The plan is green or flat.